Godzilla versus the Hulk. Which monster is the strongest? Welcome to the Comicstorian Complete Story Series, where you get audio dramas of your favorite comic books, helping you decide what to go out and add to your collection. Today, we begin Godzilla vs. Hulk with Issue 1 by Gerry Duggan. I hope you enjoy. Thunderbolt Ranch, the 1970s. General Ross stands out front, surrounded by a throng of news reporters, but the interviews are cut short by the arrival of a military helicopter. Well, folks, that's all the time I got for gun bumping, because I reckon it's time for you to mosey off. Everybody at the Thunderbolt Ranch is busy working on our most dangerous project, capturing and pacifying Godzilla, Ross says before promptly turning away and stalking back towards the helicopter. But one reporter chases after him, demanding an answer to the rumor that Ross never killed the Hulk and that he is secretly working for Thunderbolt Ranch. Ross stops as he is pulling himself inside the chopper. Thunderbolt Ranch extends down almost 80 stories, and there's national secrets and monsters down there that I hope never see the light of day. But the Hulk is deader than Elvis. The 1980s are just around the corner, but Thunderbolt Ross is still taking care of business, Ross says before climbing inside, but he motions the reporter to follow him. Hop in the bird, Mr. Giles. There's something I want you to see, Ross calls out. Meanwhile, deep beneath Thunderbolt Ranch, Dr. Bruce Banner stops and stares at their latest project, a kaiju incinerator that was created by Dr. Demonicus. Will the containment hold? Banner asks his colleague. Demonicus nods and motions to the large egg-shaped device. Worry not, Bruce. My kaiju incinerator will be more than enough for the king of monsters. Just be sure you and Ross do your parts, Demonicus growls. Meanwhile, above ground, the chopper buzzes low over the proposed battlefield, where Giles watches as Kumonga, the giant spider, sprays a web and traps the mighty Mothra to the ground. This is Texas, son. Bagging big game requires big bait. And it just so happens that we have an ace up our sleeve, Ross shouts, explaining that Mothra's shrieks of pain should get Godzilla's attention. He motions to the strange device that has been attached to Kumonga, explaining that it allows them to control the kaiju. Giles watches in horror as Kumonga sprays acid on Mothra, bringing more cries of pain. Meanwhile, in the Kumonga control room, Bruce Banner is shaking his head. Once again, I object to this. Surely there's a less cruel plot to lure Godzilla here, he points out. But Demonicus just laughs. You radiate weakness, Banner, Demonicus says, pointing out that all kaiju must be cleansed, that the war for mankind requires it. These kaiju have utterly destroyed me, Dr. Banner. Be grateful that you have no idea what it's like to be a monster, Demonicus growls, unaware of the strange look that passes over Banner's face. Topside, drawn to Mothra's cries for help, Godzilla has arrived. Military planes buzz overhead, but Godzilla merely swats them from the sky. Ross leaps from the helicopter and parachutes down, ready to bring the final fight to the King of Monsters. He quickly heads down into Thunderbolt Ranch, where he settles into his cockpit. The radio crackles and Banner's voice can be heard. This is Banner. I'm ready to deploy. My pre-flight check is all green, he calls out. Thunderbolt 1 and 2, you are clear to engage Godzilla. Launch! Demonicus calls both pilots over the radio. Above, the reporter watches as pod bay doors open in the earth, and twin Mechagodzilla, now piloted remotely from Thunderbolt Ranch, launch outward and prepare to join the battle. The King of Monsters turns at the mecha's approach, but it doesn't seem frightened. It merely opens its mouth and fires a burst of atomic breath that strikes Banner's mecha and knocks it from the sky. Oh hell! I'm gonna open a can of 4th of July on this lot, Ross shouts as he launches his own attack. His mecha opens its jaws and fires missiles that knock Godzilla to the ground. Below, Thunderbolt Ranch shakes from the impact, Scientists crouch in fear of the ceiling collapsing. But Demonicus merely laughs. Ha ha! Perhaps we'll all die today, but we're dragging Godzilla to hell with us. He shouts with joy as he directs Kumonga to join in on the attack against Godzilla. The giant spider crawls forward and fires its webs onto Godzilla. Ross moves to stomp the King of Monsters, but Godzilla flicks his tail and knocks his mecha into Kumonga. Get in the game, Banner! I can't handle this all by myself! Ross shouts over the radio. Banner steers his mecha towards Godzilla, lashing out and trying to strike the kaiju in the face. But Godzilla catches the blow and rips Mecha Godzilla's arm off, bringing a shout of pain from Banner as the mecha falls to the ground. Godzilla turns as Kumonga tries to sneak up from behind him, but a blast of atomic breath knocks the Spider Titan away. Demonicus, do something! This monster has taken out both our Broncos. You said you had a failsafe. Time to empty the gun, Doc. Ross shouts to the control room. Inside, Demonicus begins to laugh. He pulls off his mask to reveal his horrific face, promising that now is the time for his revenge. Time for me to pay everyone back. The monsters and the men who have brought me to ruin, Demonicus shouts. He flips the switch on his control panel, revealing the truth about his kaiju incinerator, that it is secretly an incubator that has broken down the kaiju remains so that he could create something different. The massive egg begins to crack open, revealing a mass of amorphous sludge with a single eye. Do you remember what price you said you would pay to kill Godzilla, Ross? You said anything. Well, meet anything. Ha 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 ha! Behold Hedora! Demonicus laughs as the monster rips its way free of Thunderbolt Ranch and finds its way topside. The new monster doesn't hesitate and rushes at Godzilla, slamming into the King of Monsters and bringing it down to the ground. It slams him into Banner's mecha, bringing more screams of pain from Bruce. Suddenly, the weak doctor's eyes begin to flash green. I'm trapped! The monsters are crushing the hull! I want to live! Bruce shouts, but his voice begins to change as he begins to grow. It has been years since he has transformed, having finally gotten his anger under control after allowing Ross to believe that he had killed the Hulk and buried his body, unaware that it was really Rick Jones who had been infected by gamma radiation who was killed. But now, the Hulk is unleashed and free once more. He leaps from the mecha and launches himself at Hedora. Hulk hates robots, and Hulk hates bugs, but Hulk hates slime monsters most of all. Hulk bellows as he slams his fist into the monster hard enough to knock it back. Inside the control room, Demonicus stares at the screen in surprise. Well, this is unexpected. It won't do at all. How could this be possible? If Hulk was Dr. Banner, I wonder who we buried in that grave. He ponders. Above ground, the Hulk continues to fight Hedora. The monster lashes out with a tentacle, but the Hulk dodges and punches it in the eye. But Ross's mecha is hit again, and Hulk leaps to the cockpit and tears it apart, pulling Ross to freedom and leaping to safety. If you're still alive, who's in the Hulk's grave? Ross demands as Hulk puts him down, but Hulk shakes his head. Hulk not the monster. Banner is. Banner always blames others for his problems. Bicycle Boy Rick Jones was his patsy. Now, Ross, shut up and watch! Hulk smash all monsters! Hulk says before turning and leaping back into the battle. Hedora has turned once more to Godzilla and smashed the King of Monsters into the ground, its claws cutting deep wounds into Godzilla's tough skin. Its strange skin dissolving Godzilla's scales away. But Hulk leaps forward and slams into it with his fist, though the sludge begins to dissolve him as well, burning his hand and bringing cries of pain from the Hulk. Hedora turns away and begins to slide back towards Thunderbolt Ranch, preparing to finish the mission that it was given by Dr. Demonicus. But Hulk isn't done. He leaps up and rips electrical wires from a nearby tower. You all say Hulk is a monster, but I'm wrong. Maybe your dumb mouth was wrong about Godzilla too. Hulk says as he leaps back to Godzilla and strikes the king of monsters with the wires, shocking him with mass amounts of electricity. Hulk saw Banner tickle Heart with electricity once. Now Dr. Hulk save Godzilla, he yells. Godzilla roars with pain, but begins to stir. Hulk leans over Godzilla's wounds, dripping some of his gamma-irradiated blood into Godzilla. Hulk blood helps Lizard, Hulk proclaims. Godzilla suddenly roars as his body begins to grow. His eyes turned green. When Hedora turns back, its eyes widen as it stares up at a hulked out Godzilla. Godzilla whirls and slams his fist into the monster and knocks it away, before finishing it with a blast of gamma breath that destroys the monster. No! I was so close! Demonicus shouts from below the hangar doors. But the remains of the sludge monster pour down, washing over him and burning his skin, bringing cries of pain as he dies. With the battle ended, Mothra and Kumonga escape into the desert, leaving Hulk and Godzilla staring down at each other. Hulk is strongest one there is, but Hulk, no one to prove that today, Hulk whispers. As if both were in agreement, the two gamma monsters both calm down and begin to shrink to their normal sizes, with Hulk returning to Bruce Banner, who watches as Godzilla stomps away. Bruce looks up to see Ross aiming a pistol at him. So you fingered that poor kid as the Hulk and let us kill him? Give me one good reason not to pull this trigger, Banner, Ross growls. But Bruce smiles and motions over Ross's shoulder. The general turns to see Godzilla glaring at him. Well, my calculus on not pulling the trigger is easy. I wouldn't make Godzilla angry. We monsters stick together, Ross, Bruce says with a smile. And that concludes issue 1 of Godzilla vs. Hulk. Godzilla has become a Hulk of its own, but which of the two monsters truly is the strongest? You'll just have to wait until next time to find out. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel as it helps us out a lot. I'm Dan with Comicstorian, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.